This film is different from the others you've seen on this channel. It is not only about inner growth, it is rooted in a moment in time, the years 2025 and 2026, years that mark the turning of an era. Across the world, the financial system is shifting. The rails of money, once controlled by SWIFT, Society for Worldwide Interbank, financial telecommunication, are being replaced by new structures built on blockchain and digital ledgers. At the same time, we are stepping out of the shadows of the old age and into the light of the age of Aquarius, a cycle of truth, transparency, and awakening. And this is not coincidence. The outer transformation of money mirrors the inner transformation of consciousness. And in this film, we will explore the 4 stages of mastery over temptation, not in isolation, but in the context of this great shift. The Great Shift of 2025, consciousness, wealth transfer, and the 4 stages of mastery. As the consciousness shift began this year across the entire planet, we are now ready to begin a new life, more mindful, elevated, and aligned. Our bodies are no longer designed for the old world's patterns. To match the new Earth frequency, we must evolve through intention, energy, and habit. Because forming new habits is not just productivity, it's the foundation of awakening your body, mind, and soul to the new timeline. Stage 1. Entanglement. 2 years ago, most of humanity lived in entanglement. The system seemed eternal. Banks, cash, credit, inflation as a fact of life. And temptation was simple: to consume, to distract, to live for comfort. But cracks began to appear. Inflation accelerated. Trust in institutions weakened. The old rails of finance began to shake. And yet many remained blind, numbing themselves with entertainment, alcohol, or endless consumption. On the spiritual level, this stage is sleep. On the biological level, the brain lives in survival mode, chasing dopamine spikes just to feel alive. On the financial level, these people trust the system blindly until the system itself begins to dissolve. This is not punishment, it is the soil where awakening begins. Stage 2. Awareness and struggle. Today, many find themselves in awareness and struggle. They sense something is changing. They see headlines about central bank digital currencies, blockchain integration, and ISO 2022. They feel both curiosity and fear. They try to prepare, maybe buying digital assets, maybe reading about the new system. But fear whispers, what if I lose? What if it's too late? What if this is all a trap? On the spiritual level, this stage is battle. On the biological level, the prefrontal cortex struggles to override the limbic system's craving for quick rewards. On the financial level, people buy too late, sell too early, and live in anxiety about what's coming. But this stage is sacred because every failed attempt, every relapse into old habits strengthens the inner muscle. Here, the soul learns discipline, patience, and trust. And in the years 2025 to 2026, this stage will be tested more fiercely than ever as the old rails break and the new system emerges fully. Stage 3, neutrality and choice. Those who rise into neutrality and choice will see the great shift with clarity, not fear. They will not be intoxicated by greed or paralyzed by panic. They will understand that this transition is not only about money, but about consciousness. In this stage, the inner state is calm. The old temptations, alcohol, lust, overconsumption, lose their grip. The nervous system stabilizes, the dopamine baseline rises, and discipline feels natural. Financially, this is the stage of vision. These individuals understand the difference between thousands of speculative tokens and the few true utility technologies designed to carry the new financial rails. They don't gamble on hype. They choose with wisdom and patience. Spiritually, they align with the age of Aquarius: transparency, responsibility, and service. Stage 4. Transcendence. In transcendence, temptation itself dissolves. What once felt irresistible now feels irrelevant. Alcohol looks like poison. Lust without love feels like burning sacred treasure. Endless consumption feels like dust compared to the richness of silence. And in the context of 2025 and beyond, these are the people who not only survive the shift, they become pillars of stability for others. Their wealth is not just financial. Their wealth is spiritual clarity, emotional strength, and a frequency so steady that others feel safe in their presence. The age of Aquarius is not about crowns of gold or numbers in accounts. It is about becoming a conduit of higher consciousness, using the tools of the new world, not for ego, but for service. 2 years ago, most could not imagine a world beyond the old system. Today, in 2025, the cracks are visible. And in 2 years, the transformation will be undeniable. The question is not whether the great shift will happen. The question is, where will your consciousness be when it does? Because wealth transfer is not only the movement of money, it is the test of frequency. In stages 1 and 2, you may gain something, but fear and impulse will rob you of the fullness of the opportunity. In stages 3 and 4, you stand in clarity. You do not chase or cling, you create, you serve, and you hold. This film is not only a teaching, it is a marker in time, a reminder that you lived through the great reset of 2025 to 2026, the dawn of the age of Aquarius. And your stage of consciousness will decide not only what you gain, but who you become. This is not just a video, it's a marker in time. As the world steps into the great reset of 2025 to 2026, and humanity enters the age of Aquarius, your stage of consciousness will decide not only what you gain, but who you become. Discover the 4 stages of mastery. Over temptation and learn how to rise above fear and impulse into clarity, freedom, and service. This is not an accident. You were guided here, not by chance, but by something deeper within you calling you to remember. Only those who are ready ever find messages like this. This is more than a habit. It's your code. The way we move, eat, breathe, and think must match the energy of what's coming. And what's coming is higher. Align with it, live it, and rise into the timeline where your fullest self is waiting. This is Habit Code, and the next episode starts right now.